Hello everyone, Phoenix61 here with your daily dose of World of Warships Legends. How is it going? Couple of quackins for you today. We are in the Minsk to start out. So this is the Soviet, I think the original destroyer line, right? And it's tier 6, and I feel like even for tier 6 with Sims as an inspiration, I feel like the health pool is lacking, right? But the biggest challenge with these destroyers is obviously the concealment. Even with some concealment built in, we're at 6.7. But so like a lot of times what my strategy is, right, to try and use island cover as much as possible. You do get the 2 smokes. You do have some pretty hefty hitting HE shells, right? You do have some pretty decent guns, but turret traverse is, god awful as well. But anyway, so like I struggle with these. So I am still working through this tech tree of ships, and I am on the tier 6. I don't even have the 7 unlocked yet. But anyway, we've got a Tennessee that seems to want to just barrel into the zone here, and I think it would be quite obvious to this person, right, that the enemy destroyer is in the zone. As you can see, the zone's getting capped, right? Like, so I don't know. I probably wouldn't push up into it if I was him. I tried to get a cheeky shot there on him, but no dice with didn't even do any damage. I was hoping to get like a fire or something. But anyway, so I saved a rack of torpedoes. I'm gonna come around to the side over here, see if we can bait some gunfire from him potentially, and or hope that somebody else can keep him spotted. But yeah, both of these battleships, right? I think it's a Tennessee and a California, right? So massive health pools with these guys. And I'm still spotted, right? So something else is picking me up somewhere else in the map just because we had fired our guns, right? You get pretty good range of guns, but then the downside to that is, right, that opens you up to being spotted even easier, right? So it's looking good for a torpedo shot here, but he makes the right move and turns hard right into that. So, and then I'm going to hold off on the smoke because he is within the 2-kilometer range of guaranteed spotting anyway. There's no point in me dropping smoke until I can get 2 kilometers away from him. And there we go with that. The other thing too is going to be our smoke firing penalty. While very small and slight, it does exist on the destroyers as well. But as you can see, he's not like doing very much, right? He's going to struggle to aim and hit us, right? But we're going to drop the smoke anyway. Something else is spotting us over, yeah. But anyway, 3 kilometers out, right? We know we're not going to be spotted. Takes sign of the blind shot at us and misses. But now we've got a little bit more of free reign to go after him. And I can see that California is sticking around the corner at 5 kilometers away as well. So at this point, I'm just trying to trigger another fire or get a flood here, hopefully, with the torpedoes. You can finally our 3rd or 4th shot here. And it looks like he's going to perfectly split those 2 there. So great. He is using one of the Ninja Turtles skins, which I really like. Those camos. That blue shredder one. Yeah, so he's within 2.7 kilometers must be my smoke firing penalty range, right? So we'll stop. Yeah, oh, it's 2.8. I just swapped there to just check it. Yeah, so we'll stop firing the guns until we get out of that 2.8. So technically we could fire them here. He's going to go undetected. I've got 9 seconds left on torpedoes. We'll see if we could potentially rush at him. We do have a fire going on him, and he was pretty low. There it is. Okay. So I managed to save that one. Now I was kind of like, well, what do I do now, right? It's going to be tough. But I was like, you know what? If that California is sticking close to the island there, we might be able to actually sneak up on him. So we're going to try this, right? This is what I tend to do with ships that I'm not good with, is play them poorly, aggressively, liberally. I don't know how you want to call it, right? But just sometimes I'm like, let's go crazy, right? I'm like, all right, I got a zone cap and a kill. Like, this will be a good amount of XP, right? And California's not even looking at us, right? He was looking the other way. But, the struggle with him is going to be, he's not going to be able to get those guns turned very quickly. We're so close to him that he's going to struggle to get guns turned and pointed at us as we kind of move around here. I'm going to point in. It does look like he's getting those front guns pretty close. The carrier, yeah, and then he's swinging a miss anyway. We do get one torp hit there for a flood. And then we get lucky here. This Pensacola just happens to show up super low on health. I know I'm going to have torpedoes loaded for the California as we sail by, so we'll pump him full of the, 4 or 5 torps that this thing drops, right? So we get the devastating strike on the California, and we got the kill on the Pensacola as well, so that gave us a double strike. And we are not done yet with double strikes for this game, so stay tuned here. We do pick up the carrier, and we went unspotted here, so I was just taking advantage of being not being detected here. There's 3 battleships, the carrier, and 1 more destroyer, who must be what's spotting us right now. We're going to try the AP on the carrier, and sure enough, we are getting Citadel hits there. And then I can see the destroyer get spotted here, and it looks like he's not moving. So you know how this is going to go, right? We're going to ignore the destroyer because, well, he's not a threat. He's not even moving. He's not even playing, right? So we're just going to take full advantage of this. We'll continue to get a massive amounts of Citadel hits on this Ranger. The turret traverse is, of course, really slow, so it's hard to keep all these guns on target here. 7 Citadels. And then we're going to, as we sail by this destroyer, we'll send a torpedo at him, right? They're going to be loaded right about then. And yep, torps loaded. I almost wasn't sure if this was, like, I thought maybe it'd be too much time in between kills that we wouldn't get a double strike, but we do get another double strike here. And that will give us a Kraken. Kraken, devastating strike, high caliber, popped all at once. And then Shorenhurst over here for a potential 6-pack, but as you can see, right, the enemy team only has 10 points left, so the next kill is going to win the game. But I'm going to come around the corner here and see if I can get that. Shorenhurst was pretty low on health. We're coming around the corner. Oh, nope, somebody got a kill on one of our guys. That gave him a few points back. I think he does, right? Shorenhurst, we're probably within range of secondaries potentially, right? So I was like, all right, we'll slow down and drop the smoke. And somebody's got him on fire, so we're going to just keep pumping away here. We do get spotted before the smoke takes over us. Getting some defends there. And yeah, the Graf Spey got the Queen Elizabeth, so that puts us over that takes away their points. So excuse me. I was kind of thinking, like, maybe it doesn't count for the Kraken, right? Because we got that one ship that was, like, not playing, but whatever. We could have maybe potentially gotten the Shorenhurst if he was. But 3,100 XP in the Tier 6 Minsk. If you didn't think you could get a Kraken in the Minsk, well, you can. I'm going to show the build here really quick, and then I have another Soviet destroyer Kraken video that we'll go into. So today's video is only halfway over here, right? I think I end up switching this to traverse speed at some point just because of how slow it is. And then you could even go steering gears here, right? But you know me, like I'm a fan of the propulsion mod. Concealment system, right? You almost could you could maybe do target acquisition, right? Like the concealment's so bad anyway, like I don't know, but I'll probably stick with concealment though. But yeah, this Vladimir guy, right? This is a completely free to play build, right? William Sims gives you more hit points, and then this Fornet guy gives you more HE shell damage. He's a good one for basically any ships that you're using HE shells a lot, so he's a good one just to rank up to always have for an inspiration to stack wherever you want, right? So if you don't have a lot of commanders ranked up, he's a good one to use for inspirations. Base trade is reduced incoming damage. We'll use observant range here for main battery reload, right? The torps are really not the greatest, so I don't build into the torps at all, right? They're super short range, right? So mortar here for even more HE shell damage. And then I was using this playing with fire, and I actually think I don't like it, right? The plus 4% chance of fire, I don't know if that's worth well, at least with what we have now, right? I don't know if that's, maybe once we get it upgraded, but it's minus 30% damage, right? So, and I don't play these ships enough, right? So I feel like you could use anything along this third row. You do you, right? Then I'm using smoke on the water here, and then of course unstoppable is kind of my go-to for destroyers, right? Because that sort of makes you somewhat immune to steering gear and engine damage, right? Like you still have some maneuverability when that happens to you, so that's kind of why I lean into that. Because it happens so much on destroyers with destroyer plays, but yeah. Anyway, game number 2, we are in one of my favorite tier 4 premiums, the Okotnik, right? I'm sure I don't say that correctly at all, but anyway, lots of torpedoes, but again, the problem is you've got, I mean, for the tier, the concealment is probably fine, but yes, torpedo range is definitely lacking for tier 4, but you do, again, get lots of guns that are kind of slow moving. I'm going to fire a rack on each side, 2 racks on each side of this island, depending on which way that guy goes. And I think a 4-soul destroyer ends up right. We'll switch to AP if this Karlsruhe, but yeah, this destroyer just happens to be coming around the corner as well, so he's going to meet 1 or 2 of those torpedoes. And then, yeah, the cruiser, ends up pointing towards us there. So I switched back to the HE shells, but I kind of figured if he keeps moving up, I'll switch back to AP and see if we can get broadside hits on him, right? Because this is one where you can do some pretty wicked damage as well with the AP if you've got the angling, right? We're getting penetrations, just no citadels, but that's fine. That's still good amounts of damage. And I was like, since we had such a good shot on this guy, right, I'm like, I'm going to keep focusing my guns on him, but we'll save 2 racks of torpedoes because we can see a destroyer making his way towards us as well. They're going to actually be, I'm going to send more because he adjusted course. And it's Jaeger, and something looks a little off with this guy, right? He's not maneuvering, he's moving kind of slow. I'm guessing he hit quarter power and then just went AFK, so I even slowed down here in case he had sent torpedoes, but now it's pretty obvious and apparent that he's not playing, right? He's just sailing. So 2 games in a row here at least for today's videos, right? We got lucky with players not playing, and so we take full advantage of it. So you could say I only deserve 4 of these kills that week. But yeah, we'll send the torps. That's probably going to finish him off because, yeah, I don't think he's going to be adjusting course anytime soon. We do have the airplanes, right, torpedo bombers coming towards us here. That's going to be an easy dodge for us here. We got plenty of speed there, but yes, another devastating strike on him. And then the only thing spotting us right now is the planes, so we kind of have a little bit of a free reign to shoot the guns, but we can see their carrier. I'm kind of annoyed when our carrier does that, right? When carrier players go after each other's carriers, especially when they're all the way in the back of the map, right? Our carrier player basically flew over all of the, a whole bunch of enemy ships to get maybe 1 run at their carrier, and so like, yeah, it's just not, in my mind, it's just not worth it. I'd rather have you spotting and whittling down other ships and only go after their carrier when it's convenient. But we miss out on a kill there, so that's what's going to deny us a 6-pack. Yeah, you can see the Hosho, right? He's got a little bit of damage lost, but it's really not significant, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure we get this zone, right? We don't have the game won yet, so I'm still playing like you should, right? We're trying to get the win. So I'm going to smoke, and then we started backing up just in time where the aircraft, the bombers, dropped those bombs right in front of us there. And so we're going to smoke so we can get this zone, and then if somebody can keep this Omaha spotted for us, we'll keep firing at him here. We're going to try the AP again. We're kind of far away. Omaha's got, any other ship with bigger guns would probably just waste him at this angle, but we're going to struggle with it a little bit here. A couple of both busted shells and ricochets. Aimed a little bit higher, and then of course, yes, he runs aground, so we do get 1 penetration there. 15 seconds left on the zone cap, so we're going to see if we can get a kill here, and then maybe we go and make a sprint for the carrier. Alright, we're going to get the zone cap. I don't want to sit here in the smoke, potentially not having others, if people aren't going to spot for me, right, I'm going to start making some moves. So HE seemed to be working better, so we're going to do that. Wyoming's out here as well. He's also low on health, so there's potential 2 cruisers, battleship. Pretty much everyone else who's left is over here with the exception of 1 battleship, right? So we'll just pick on them all, potentially draw fire. Nobody seems to be paying too much attention to us, but you know, you guys know me. I like to play this ship super aggressive and stupid, so that's what we're doing. See if we can get the Wyoming. Nope, we can't, so that would have been maybe a 7th kill if we could have gotten him too. We'll switch to AP for the broadside Agano, and then we're going to try and angle away here. Engine boost is ready, and he's nice and broadside for us. Boosh, double Citadel hit finishes him. And then now we're getting pretty close to the carrier, right? He's going to be within torpedo range already. Yeah, so I don't know how many runs that are... I mean, somebody else might have been able to shoot him from this range too, but I don't know how many runs our carrier made at him. But he's still got health left, right? So I realize I'm overdoing it with the torpedoes here. Probably don't need that many, but like it's not going to matter because, well, there's only 1 more ship left. And he's either going to be dead by the time we get over there, or our torpedoes will definitely be reloaded by then, right? So I just sent everything just to make sure. There he goes, Kraken and Confederate, and that actually gets us over the top with, or I think maybe they lost all their points on that one again too. Oh, nope, your team reached maximum points. We'll take a quick peek at the leaderboard on this one. We are at the top again at 2,500 XP. Technically not as good as the last game, right? I don't go through the commander build. I think I might be using the same commander on that. I'm not sure, but I didn't go through that. I've got a whole bunch of... I've got several videos out there with that Okotnik, right, that ship, right? But we're back on the Minsk to end the video here for the day. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way through, those of you that stuck around. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I do Legends videos just about every single day. And I'm still kind of a small channel, so yes, I do notice 1 or 2 new people following me, and I appreciate you. I occasionally live stream, usually evenings. It's kind of random there, so if you're interested in that, make sure to hit the bell and get notifications. That way you can see it pop up when we go live. But thanks again, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.